Zenigata oversees a pile of gold, having received a calling card, Lupin offering it to Fujiko as a birthday present and marriage proposal. Things are quiet until an officer arrives with a ball in hand. Zenigata knocks it away, unaware it's being remote controlled by Lupin. The ball releases sleeping gas and then opens the safe. Zenigata waits outside for the ball, not expecting it to have gotten so big from loading the gold. He gets stuck running on top of it as it crashes through a window. The police follow after the ball, with Zenigata getting ahead to taunt Lupin. Lupin's response is to send the ball in the other direction, rolling off the edge of the highway. It has a balloon function built into it, which is impressive considering the gold's weight is about 3 tons. Zenigata grabs a hold of it, but Lupin uses the ball's arms to tickle him off. Fujiko arrives for her birthday celebration, with Lupin providing her the gold in her cake. She seemingly agrees to uphold the marriage proposal before showing Lupin a bottle of sleeping pills. With that, she runs off with the gold. Her celebration is short-lived as Lupin appears, having placed a tracker in one bar. She claims she was testing Lupin and then turns on the tears when he doesn't buy it. Lupin falls for that, but Zenigata interrupts them. They try to escape only to be greeted by the ball. Zenigata's taken it for himself, trapping the pair with the intent to lock them up. The gold is returned to the safe and Zenigata taunts Lupin about his marriage ideas. He heard the whole thing thanks to a transmitter of his own that he hid in one of the bars. Activating a transmitter in his cufflink with a line to Jigen and Goemon, Lupin asks that Zenigata grant them a real wedding. He agrees to it, as well as agreeing to hold it in the best church. The wedding goes ahead the next morning, with the priest asking Zenigata to put down the ball's controls as they have a no-weapon policy in the church. Right as they complete the vows, an officer claims that Lupin stole the gold again. Zenigata unmasks Lupin and Fujiko as decoys and races off. The officer was Goemon and the priest Jigen, and the decoys were a double masked by the happy couple. Zenigata notes the ball is still where he left it and nothing seems to have been moved. Lupin takes his computer back and reactivates the ball, stealing the gold once more. Zenigata catches up to the gang as they drive off, so they switch the ball to balloon mode. Fujiko then dumps the others out and once more takes the gold for herself. This turns out to be to the gang's benefit, as Zenigata placed another tracker in the gold, leaving Fujiko to deal with his police force. Low stakes story, but fun back and forth going on in this one. Sometimes you have to wonder if Fujiko has some sort of illness that compels her to betray Lupin, seeing as the gold was a gift for her to begin with. In this era, certainly within the realm of possibility. Zenigata was a highlight too. Plus it was a nice touch seeing him use Lupin's own device against him after he seemingly forgot about it once he was finished with it. Lupin has his eyes on an underground casino, owned by New York Mafia boss Roulette, who's having a birthday party soon. They scope it out while watching a dance show put on by one of the waitresses. Said waitress, Jenny Walker, serves Lupin and they hit it off. Zenigata's quick on the scene, but the lights get shut out and the only person caught is Jenny. As she walks away, Jenny is jumped by Roulette's men, demanding to know what she told the police. She gets hauled into a car, but Lupin comes to her rescue. The Mafia try to follow, but Lupin left nails in the road. As Lupin takes part in Jenny's dance training, he learns she wants to be a dancer on Broadway one day, working waitress jobs in the meantime. She decides to help Lupin crack the safe, as the money could help fast-track her career. She warns him of the shutter system, as well as the safe itself being protected by a keycard. Lupin's hesitant to get her involved initially, but meets her at the diner she works at and agrees to her helping him. He notices she's on the phone to someone, which turns out to be Roulette. Roulette learns of Lupin's plan from Jenny, but plans to have her taken out too. Lupin and Fujiko pose as high rollers at Roulette's casino on the night of the party, Fujiko getting into a brief spat with Jenny. Roulette gives a welcoming speech, waiting for Lupin to make his move. Jigen and Goemon knock out a few of the guards and take the power grid down. Lupin and Jenny take their chance and race down the hallway, avoiding gunfire from the guards. Lupin tosses a sleep grenade their way and they race past while holding their breath. They manage to bypass the shutters using roller skates but nearly end up falling through a trapdoor, something new according to Jenny. They're able to climb out and continue to their target. Jigen and Goemon follow after Lupin and end up falling through the same trapdoor. An alligator is waiting for them, but Goemon doesn't want to kill it outright, so he's stuck wrestling it. Lupin and Jenny reach the vault, and while the keycard is real, the safe is empty. Roulette laughs as the safe closes behind them, telling them to enjoy the oncoming show. Jenny apologises, admitting to playing both sides but coming to trust Lupin. The alligator beaten, Jigen finds a note in a wad of bubblegum Lupin left on the wall of the pit, pointing to Roulette's birthday cake. Lupin and Jenny are brought before Roulette, who has a minigun that's set to fire to the moves of a dance routine. Lupin taunts him by saying he's already stolen the money with Jigen and Goemon's help, having hidden it in the cake. Roulette decides to at least have his show and activates the minigun. Lupin and Jenny manage to dodge the gunfire thanks to Lupin following Jenny's lead. Jigen arrives, hooking Roulette away from the gun's controls. He then aims it at his henchmen to keep them at bay as Goemon takes them down. Zenigata then arrives, leading to Lupin making an exit. Later, Lupin sees Jenny off to her big audition, reassuring her when she admits to being hesitant as she heads inside. For anyone curious, the song that plays throughout the episode is called Darkest Eyes by Kathy Lynn from her album Stranger's Eyes. As confirmed by Yuzo Aoki in one of the interviews I mentioned back in the first part, Jenny's character takes a lot from Flashdance, even referencing and homaging a lot of Alex's dance moves. Nothing on her handling a blowtorch so badly that none of her welding will stick though. The episode itself is entertaining, harkening back to Series 2's Broadway episodes, which Aoki contributed character designs towards. Jenny's quite fleshed out as a character too as far as one-off characters go, with a motive to both help and betray Lupin, ultimately settling on helping. Overall, a definite highlight for Series 3. Jigen and Fujiko put on a dance show in what turns out to be a prison. It gets a bit rowdy to put it mildly, causing the guards to try and quiet things down. It's all a ploy for Lupin to break out an inmate named Parker. He's after a treasure that Parker stole from him, said to be worth millions. Zenigata's soon on the trail, so Lupin springs a landmass, causing Parker to faint from fear. Zenigata is not so lucky in following them, however. Parker wakes up in a submarine but refuses to give up the treasure's location. They're tracked down by Zenigata again, who uses mines to either crush them or force them to the surface. As Lupin tries to reseal the sub, Zenigata demands the treasure's location. Parker eventually confesses, revealing it to be in a place called Demon's Rock. Lupin climbs out and it's revealed to be a ploy to get the location from Parker. The gang drive out to the general area of the treasure's location, but Fujiko stays behind with Parker. She suspects he lied about the treasure's location and turns on the charm to get a share of the treasure herself. Parker agrees, taking her to the real location. He then gloats that Lupin's digging in an old minefield as they see an explosion in the distance. Fujiko's shocked and scared at Lupin's revenge, but they continue to the treasure's cave anyway. Parker digs up the treasure and then turns on Fujiko. Lupin then appears, still alive, having known about the area the whole time. He then fires sleeping gas at Parker and runs off with the treasure, but Parker is able to resist it. He digs down further for a weapon case he stashed, and Zenigata catches up to Lupin. As Lupin tries to outrun Zenigata, Parker fires from the gondola. Jigen has no luck firing back thanks to the explosions, so Lupin heads towards one of the gondola's supports. Parker fires at it and destroys the pillar, causing him to fall into Zenigata's clutches. Arresting him will have to wait though, as the mountain's erupting around them. The gang celebrates another successful heist. The treasure inside looks to just be a rock, but Lupin says not to judge a book by its cover. He and Jigen then collapse from drugged wine, and Fujiko runs off with the rock. When she's gone, Lupin and Jigen reveal they were faking it, as the real treasure is the box itself. No honour among thieves, I suppose. In terms of storytelling, this feels about on par with early Series 1, what with the gang being somewhat more willing to backstab than usual and the lack of Goemon. Parker claiming he hates everything could get a bit annoying, but besides that, decent enough watch at least. Though we never do learn about how Lupin escaped the mine explosion beyond him knowing about them prior. A politician named Onihei Azumaya is under fire regarding his past. As the gang watch, they notice Fujiko among his staff. Fujiko meets with Lupin and asks him to steal the Etude 3 painting from an upcoming exhibition of the artist Rishu Kobayashi. The heist goes off without a hitch, but Lupin is left confused as to why Fujiko wants such a cheap painting. He analyses it and discovers a portrait underneath the painting, but can't quite place the face. He passes the painting along to Fujiko, but doesn't get any answers from her. He decides to track her down and learns that Azumaya got Fujiko to enlist his help. Realising he looks familiar, Lupin returns to his computer. Putting a photo of Azumaya with the portrait, he discovers they're one and the same. Lupin then recognises him as a petty thief named Mamushi Dayu, who hired him to steal a diamond shipment he claimed was his, promised half in return. Lupin pulls it off, but Mamushi Dayu steals the diamonds from the drop-off point without leaving Lupin his share. Lupin scopes out Azumaya's weekend mansion, but his first attempt to enter is blocked by an electrified barrier. His second attempt by airdrop goes better, but he enters in a room full of lions. Azumaya greets Lupin, but denies being Mamushi Dayu. Lupin shows him his tape evidence, threatening to leak it to the press, but Azumaya laughs it off, as the actual painting has been destroyed, plus he has a lot of people in his pocket. Like that stops the news media. Lupin stunts outside, but comes up with a new plan. Zenigata visits Azumaya, offering to help with Lupin. He also makes mention of a murder committed 5 years prior, but Azumaya denies it. Zenigata shows him a photo, but Azumaya claims it was doctored as he had a different face 5 years ago. He shows Zenigata his photo as Mamushi Dayu, but Zenigata's not convinced. Azumaya tells how he swindled Lupin, revealing he hid the diamonds in a place called Angel Island. Fujiko enters with a map to the place and Lupin unmasks. Angered, Azumaya sets a bunch of snakes on them as they leave, Mamushi being a type of viper for anyone curious. Azumaya makes his way to Angel Island before the gang arrive to prepare. The gang fly over but get bombarded by an anti-air attack, so go in low. Lupin goes it alone, running into a bodyguard as he enters the main base. He takes care of him, but a second one on the floor above takes him by surprise. Lupin deals a low blow to him and dodges a third one on the next floor. This one's not too smart as he's pulled outside by his own weapon. Refusing to give up, Azumaya launches the top floor of the base, revealing only he can fly it safely. Lupin responds by lassoing him and taking his half of the diamonds. He leaves Azumaya tied up as he escapes with the rest of the gang. Kind of impressive anytime someone manages to swindle Lupin even if it doesn't last. Also pretty noteworthy that Lupin is implied to have actually upheld his end and only took half the diamonds in the climax. Still, a fun time of Lupin outwitting the antagonist and leaving him high and dry in the end. Next time, a map among the pearls, a diamond heist going up in flames, a battle against a bank and a fight for a Chinese antique take us forward to episode 24. Until then,